So today I'm going to talk about one of the most important things that I have learned on a plant-based diet for weight loss, for happiness, for health, for everything, and that is intuitive eating. And there's so much going on in the community right now about people saying that, like, oh, if you eat intuitively, you're calorie restricting and you're starving yourself and you're going to die. You're basically just going to die. So don't follow your body. Don't listen to yourself. Listen to, what everyone else is telling you to do and just shove in the calories. Smash them in as much as you can because carbs equals life. And if you're not eating enough carbohydrates, you're pretty much just going to fail at life. That's like the message that we all hear all the time. It's just like shouted from the rooftops. And there's this huge movement of people that all they want to do is just like carbs, 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 carbs. There's so much more to life than eating. And I feel like when people come to high carb, plant-based lifestyle, their entire world revolves around eating. That's not living, okay? So being like completely obsessed with food, whether it's restricting your food or overeating or counting calories or counting like your macros and your fat grams and like weighing your avocados because there's just way too much fat in like half an avocado, and the fat you eat is the fat you wear, and you're just probably going to blow up like a balloon if you eat like an avocado, God forbid, like every day. It's just so ridiculous. There's so many girls on Instagram, YouTube, and everywhere that contact me every single day saying that exactly what happened to me is exactly what happened to them. They went on plant-based lifestyle. They heard all this, advice from everywhere, and it's just so convincing. So they start smashing in the calories, and they gain 30, 40, 50 pounds, and they're so uncomfortable in their skin that, like, they don't even want to move. Like, they can't do anything because they're overeating so much that they just, like, your digestion screwed up, their mood screwed up, their sleep is screwed up, everything is just off because their body doesn't need that many calories. So I did a video the other day. I actually haven't posted it yet, but I will, about like why I can't eat that many calories. I can't eat 2,500 or 3,000 calories a day because my body doesn't need it. I live in Minnesota where it's just so cold. Like right now, there's nothing to do. In the summer, when I'm biking, 10 miles a day, I eat way more calories. But right now, I don't need to. I go to my work, like my job every day. I come home, I walk the dogs. Very, very small little path in the back there that's like maybe half a mile. And it's just too cold to do anything. So I don't need 2,500, 3,000 calories a day. If I ate like that, I would gain weight. And I think that, there's just so much advice out there saying that, like, you can eat as much low-fat vegan food as you want and you're not going to gain weight. And that's so scientifically false. It's so false. The law of energy and, like, thermodynamics, it's a universal law. Like, you can't really get around it. Your body might be burning, more calories than someone else because they have more muscle, they're more fit, they exercise every single day, and you don't. So they need more calories than you do. But the law of energy is if you have too much energy, it has to expand. Like, you can't just eat tons and tons and tons and tons of calories, be really, really unfit and really unhealthy, and sit on your ass all day and lose weight magically. Like, it doesn't work that way. So, what bothers me is that so many girls are being attacked for saying that, you should listen to your body and you should eat as many calories as you want and really learn intuitive eating. And they're like, everyone from the outside is just saying like, oh, well, you're promoting eating disorders. You're telling people to calorie restrict. You calorie restrict. You're anorexic. You have an eating disorder. And it's like, no, I don't. I just listen to myself and I stop eating when food doesn't taste good anymore or I'm not hungry anymore, and it's pretty common sense. This is a skill that we are born with. Everyone is born with the skill to intuitively eat. If we didn't, and if we weren't, and if we were all just binge eaters, we would eat constantly all day, every day. And maybe that's fine if you're like an animal in nature, walking like hundreds of miles a week, and you're constantly on your feet, and all of your food is raw and unprocessed, and you have to forage all of it. Maybe that's way different than saying like that's how humans are. We're not built into this world to be running around grazing, picking fruits up, and all living in a tropical environment where like we're so active that we need to constantly eat all day like an animal. We wake up, we get ready for work, we sit on our ass. Most of us sit on our ass all day at work. We come home, we're like sitting in our car, we come home, and like most people will just cook dinner and like read a book and go to bed. It's not like we're running marathons every day and walking hundreds of miles. So my advice is to learn to intuitively eat. And I've explained this in like tons of videos, but I'll explain it again. If you have kids, look at your kids. Watch your kids while they're eating, because you can give them a bunch of different types of food, and they'll eat exactly what they need because that's what tastes good to them. Especially if they're not eating foods that are like highly, highly refined or processed, or that come from boxes and stuff like that. Like if you give kids a bunch of different plant-based foods, they're gonna eat they're gonna eat all their mango one day. The next day they might eat all their lettuce or all of an avocado and kind of leave bits and pieces of everything else. But they eat what their body wants, because what their body wants is what they're craving. And it's so simple on a plant-based diet to just eat whole foods and to just listen to your body and think before a meal and just think, what am I craving? What do I want right now? If it's 9 a.m. and you really want like an avocado, then, your body's probably craving fats. So eat an avocado, or eat like some coconut meat, or eat something like that. If you don't want any fat at all and you want potatoes at 9 a.m., like eat that. And when you're eating, pay attention to what you are doing. Don't be like Instagramming and Facebooking and talking on the phone and looking at stuff on YouTube. Just look at your food. Revel in every sense that you have about your food, your sight, your smell, the touch of it, the texture, everything, and really just concentrate on eating, because you don't have to do this as you relearn to intuitively eat. It's just that we've become so out of touch with how it works and how it did when we were kids, that what intuitive eating, the point of satiation is when your food stops tasting good. It's not when your stomach is so full that you have a belly and you look pregnant and you can't move for the next 4 hours. That's not a point that you should be eating to. That is so unhealthy. It's overeating. And it puts a huge toll on your body, especially if your digestion isn't like perfect and you're not super fit and you're not in that state of health right now. You should not be eating to a point of like utter explosion, or even like really fullness or anything like that. You need to just eat until your food stops tasting as good as it did when you first started eating. When you are intuitively eating, you will naturally stop when the food stops tasting good. And it just takes a little bit of time to get used to this, especially if you're coming from, smashing in the calories and, eating as much as you possibly can until you explode, because you have to carb the F up, because you're just not going to like be able to live tomorrow if you don't. You have to learn how to do this, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So sit down at every meal, pay attention to what you're eating, how it smells, how it tastes, how the texture is, how everything is, and really revel in like how it tastes. Does it taste good? Is it tasting as good as it did when you first started eating? Are you still interested in your food? Like, are you still attracted to it? If you're not, then you need to stop eating. And don't worry about like, well, I'm not full, my stomach's not, like exploding or like feeling really full like it normally does. And I'm going to be hungry in like 10 minutes. If you're hungry in like 10 minutes or like an hour, then do it all over again and just keep doing it, because you will learn how to intuitively eat. And everything will go back to normal once you learn how to do this, because you'll be eating exactly what your body needs at every time of the day, and you'll be eating the exact amounts that it needs. And then everything is just easy. Your energy is perfect. Your digestion is perfect because you're listening to your body and you're not, going against its natural cues that it's telling you. You're going to have a lot better everything. Like your digestion, your skin, your hair, everything is going to be so much better. And weight loss is going to be so easy, the way that it should be if you are on a high carb, whole foods, plant-based diet. So hope that this helps you guys. I just want to talk a little bit about intuitive eating and, don't listen to other people, especially when they're like talking down to these girls, calling them, anorexic and that they have eating disorders and all this stuff because they're listening to their body. It's just so ridiculous. So thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave your comments below. I love you guys so much. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye. It's just, I see people so obsessed with what they eat, at what time, how many fats they eat, how many macros they eat, and they're just packing on the pounds.